the king of sports, and the sport of millions the world over. More people answer the pounding feet of horses with pounding hearts than witness any other sport. For the thoroughbred is the matchless embodiment of speed and gameness. Look at the crowd as the thoroughbreds near the finish line. Another race has been won, and the victor enters the winner's circle. He knows he's won. Thoroughbreds are intelligent animals. Where do they come from? What is a thoroughbred? It's a breed of horse, just as those Percherons drawing the starting gate down the track are a distinct breed. The thoroughbred is gifted with intense speed and courage. All running horses on the racetracks of the world are thoroughbreds, and every thoroughbred traces its ancestry back to one of 3 original sires. Here's a stallion of magnificent conformation, typical of many others imported from every country of the globe to stand in California. But a fine brood mare is also necessary for the improvement of the breed. These mares in foal graze in sunny alfalfa pastures. Almost before you know it, the little foals have become yearlings, ready to be broken. In the fall, when they're about 18 months old, they're ready for their first outing on a training track with exercise boys up. The youngsters are introduced to a simple starting gait. This is a very important lesson, as good post behavior is essential to winning races. They're first taught to stand quietly, but thoroughbreds are born to run. They enjoy the gallop on the training track. On January 1st, they'll be 2 years old, and all thoroughbreds, regardless of when they were born, have a birthday every New Year's Day. Here at the racetrack is a city within a city, complete with mayor or superintendent, police, and minor officials. Making shoes, plates they're called, is a very special job. There are many kinds and types of plates. Trainers, for various reasons, change the shoe, trying to improve the horse's action and speed. Life begins with a trainer, groom, and an exercise boy at daybreak, when the thoroughbreds are fed and taken out onto the track for conditioning. Racing associations employ professional timers. With stopwatches, they clock and record the time in morning speed trials. They know all the horses by sight, about 1,300 in this case. The public is given this information that they too may know the condition of every thoroughbred. Back at the stables, the horses are bathed and massaged while they cool out. From the moment a horse is entered in a race, the animal and all concerned with its activities are under the jurisdiction of the stewards of racing. First comes the examination by a veterinarian employed by the Racing Association. A thoroughbred carries a lot of weight on 4 slender legs, and they are subject to the most careful examination. Any weakness or pain will be revealed as the horse walks. The veterinarian listens to the animal's respiration. Is it breathing freely and normally? Takes its pulse, which he can feel under the jaw, just as a physician finds the artery in a patient's wrist. Next, the veterinarian checks the thoroughbred's heart. The mouth, teeth, and throat are examined. A careful inspection of the legs and feet follow. If the shin feels cool to the touch, there's no indication of pain or fever. Finding nothing wrong in a thorough examination, the veterinarian will certify that the horse is ready to race. This is a real kindness to the animal, as it should not be asked to compete if it isn't physically fit. Racing calls its devotees from every walk of life. The old saying, on the turf and under the turf, all men are equal, is illustrated every day. They rub elbows in friendly fashion, characteristic of racing and part of its tradition. All riders who have mounts in any of the 8 races report to the jockey's room, where they remain until they fill their riding engagement. Their quarters, however, are in use all day as they make use of the recreational facilities, read, and rest. One man has charge of the silks, the owner's colors, which are kept in this room. Large stables have as many as 10 sets. While the riders like Bailey, Peterson, and Craigmile are dressing for the next race, the horses coming from the assembly barn enter the paddock, led by their groom. The public has an opportunity for a close-up view of the thoroughbreds. The horses are taken to stalls corresponding to the numbers on the program, which makes identification easy for the spectators. Every rider has a valet assigned to him for each race by the custodian of the jockey's room. There are 12 to 14 valets who rotate by program numbers. These men take care of the tack and help the boys to dress. As he does with Jockey Neves, the clerk of the scales weighs all riders out for the race. If a jockey weighs less than the assigned poundage, the difference is made up in thin lead slabs which fit into the saddle packs. Riders like Neves, Bailey, Peterson, and Longden know that races are won by 1/5 of a second, the equivalent of 1 length. After the jockeys are weighed out, the valets pick up the tack and deliver it to the trainers. Every horse must be positively identified by the man responsible for making certain the animal in the paddock stall is the horse entered in the race. This is a handicap race, which means that the racing secretary handicapper has assigned the weight which the horses carry. It's the goal of every handicapper to so weight the horses that they'll all finish in a dead heat. A carriage is waiting to take the patrol judges and starter to their positions as the thoroughbreds begin their post parade. The horses are now galloped past the stand. Outriders escort them to the starting gate to restrain fractious horses. Let's look at the starting gate being closed by the assistant starters. When the horses and riders are lined up, the starter will press an electric button which opens all doors simultaneously. As the horses approach the starting gate, the performance observers go into action. Each man is assigned 1 horse to watch through high-powered binoculars from the time it appears for the post parade until the thoroughbred has left the track after the race. Each man dictates a running account of the horse he's watching to a microphone attached to the binoculars, which is recorded. The starter waits for the horses to quiet down, to catch them at the exact moment when every horse is ready. They're off, past the groom stand on the back stretch. Placing judges call for a photograph of the finish, as they cannot separate 2 horses for 3rd position. The camera which takes these photographs is set by a surveyor on the exact finish line. A mirror set on the line gives the reverse shot of the horses as they finish, and an inside horse cannot be covered by a horse on the outside. In a projection room near the film laboratory, the stewards may view any portion of the race about which there's any question. In the assembly barn, the winner is having a saliva sample taken. No purses are paid until this sample and other tests have been made by scientists in a laboratory approved by the racing board. Modern racing associations have made racing the best supervised sport in the world.